Getting to some comments here. We had one earlier from Cade Connors. How are you feeling about the quarterback? I thought Drew Pyne played really well today. I thought, and part of that is a product of North Carolina's defense. I totally get it. I really do. They gave him some throws early that got him going. They were off on Mayer. They lost Mayer on some play action. They they gave the receivers some cushion and they played back and it let him get into a rhythm. But all in all, he got into a rhythm. 24 of 34, 289, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions is a pretty decent stat line, especially when you consider how effectively Notre Dame ran the football as well. So I mean, Drew Pyne, probably his best game in a Notre Dame uniform, if we're being honest. BYU is going to be a different animal. BYU is going to try to do some different things to Drew Pyne that's going to make him make some quicker decisions, some better decisions with the football. But all in all, I don't think Drew Pyne made any bad decisions today. He had the one play in the first quarter where he kind of threw into some deep double coverage, but I thought that was a shot worth taking anyway. And I'm good that we're looking down the field. Trevor, good win going into the bye week. Absolutely. Yeah, Clay, I'm on the same page with you. He says when we were up 3 touchdowns, and Jelly should have gone out there and got some real practice. I mean, it was 45-20, and then North Carolina scored to make it 45-26. And it was a 3-score game. I tweeted, up 3 scores. I think you can probably get Angeli out there with Merriweather and company, but I don't, the way there's a lot of time left, and you go 3 and out right there, and now North Carolina has the ball. 3-score game with 9 minutes left, for instance. I don't love it. So I don't fault Kelly for, oh boy, what did I just say? I don't fault Freeman, the coach, the new coach, for leaving the first teamers out on that one. Once again, the officials were horrendous. JD Bertrand, let me talk about this for a second, because I'm honestly running out of stuff to talk about raw here after the game. JD Bertrand was called for a targeting penalty in the second half of this game that absolutely is not targeting. I don't know the answer to, can Notre Dame go back and and petition and review that and have that rescinded? I think the answer might be yes to that, to be honest with you. I don't see how that's targeting. If Bertrand hit the helmet of that receiver, he nicked the face mask of that receiver. Didn't lower the head, didn't hit with the crown of helmet, hit the receiver in the shoulder for the most part, maybe got a little bit of the underside of the face mask, but just barely, like talking like paint scrapes here. I don't know. Bad call. That penalty on the North Carolina receiver where he spins the ball, that's weak. I mean, as the announcers were saying, I don't know that the official isn't just put in a bad position there. He's supposed to flag it, even though it's not a big deal. Had to throw that flag in that particular instance. Still having trouble playing all 4 quarters. I kind of agree. But that's human nature to a certain degree. I think that offensively, Estime was feeling himself there in the fourth quarter. At one point, Notre Dame had gone to like 12 straight runs. Estime is just doing whatever he wants. Turns it over. Notre, I don't know. And 4th and 21, giving up that big play is just bad. But I think, there's a little bit of human nature in Cam Hart there, who should have gotten probably a little bit more depth, as I thought the announcers really explained pretty beautifully. He, where they were in a cover 2 there, he's got the kind of everything in front of him, and then there's safety help over the top. And the help over top, was also looking at a guy running down the seam. If Hart goes there and just stays a little deeper, he can come up and make the play. But he was trying to make a bigger play than, on that player in the flat. And obviously North Carolina got loose for that touchdown. I wanted to talk about this actually a little bit. So thanks, Johnny, for this comment. Pyne is inaccurate on the move. Really needs to lock that in. He gets it there, but it should be a lot cleaner. I don't know. I kind of agree and disagree. There are certainly some times where, for instance, I believe on Michael Mayer's touchdown, and actually doesn't throw a very good ball on that one in terms of, Mayer was wide open and he really had to extend to make that catch and then eventually run it in for the touchdown. Um, you know, that's not one where Pyne was moving. I know that's not exactly what you're talking about. There are some times where Pyne's a little bit inaccurate, where it's just like, oh boy, I don't know. We've seen him miss receivers as well. We saw him miss Mayer for a big play early in last week's game. We've seen some misses from Drew Pyne, certainly. However, I think it's worth mentioning that the kid has not started many games. Is this his second actual start? I believe it's his second actual start, unless I'm absolutely out of my mind. I know he came in against Wisconsin and played admirably against Wisconsin when Jack Cohn got hurt last year. So Drew Pyne doesn't have the experience, and we've seen in a limited sample size that it's going to continue to get better. And he's been better. He looked down the field today, whether that's a microcosm of, Tommy Rees calling it, whether that's a microcosm of, Drew's had more reps in practice now, so now he feels better calling those shot plays. Whatever the situation is, the Irish offense with Drew Pyne looked a lot better. And Pyne looked better throwing the football. He looked more decisive. And you only hope that can continue to improve. Now, again, they've got the bye week. I imagine that, they're going to let those guys go home. They're going to get them back on campus and, work on some of these things, add a couple wrinkles and extended practice time, and sort of see what we can do with this offense, what we can see from this offense, what this offense can be moving forward. And I think they took the first step there today. Again, I've said this a bunch of times, but can't say really anything bad about the offense. There's a couple things, like I say, that you would like to be cleaner, but even in your best offensive performances, you're going to have some of that. Like I say, you'd like to see Notre Dame, get that 4th and 1, maybe run a play other than quarterback sneak in that play, but I digress. So as far as grading out the offense and Tommy Rees today, absolute A, no doubt about it. I won't give it an A+. But more than passing, more than average. Got to keep it going. Got to keep it clean and crisp and rolling for a BYU team that's going to be pretty good. Going to be pretty good on the defensive side of the football. So will be the second best team that Notre Dame has played at this point. BYU will be, without a doubt. So that should be an exciting one to see now that Drew has settled in. He's getting all of the reps. This isn't one of those, he's, getting backup reps and only has a part of the playbook. I hope today is an indication that Pyne has the whole playbook, the whole downfield playbook, that Notre Dame feels comfortable calling that with Drew Pyne. The receivers have now caught a few passes down the field. I mean, when you look at Notre Dame's receiving stats, which I'll bring up again here real quick, Michael Mayer, long of 20, Lorenzo Styles, long of 30, Logan Diggs had the 34-yard touchdown, 3 receptions for 65 yards for a receiver. And pretty much all of that came in the air. That's awesome. So they hit on some big plays today. Got to keep that going. Even if you're not hitting on some of those big plays, calling them with the confidence that either this is going to be a big play for my team or an incompletion is what Notre Dame has to do. Okay. Because I've been very, very, very vocal about this, that Notre Dame has put their quarterbacks and receivers in bad positions by being run first and then can't go over the top. And then you allow teams to stack the box. The safeties don't have to leave even on pass plays because you're only running the 4-yard hitch routes and the outs and the slants and all of that type of stuff. And then that doesn't work. Now you're throwing into a pinhole, and it's, you saw Tyler Buckner get picked off against Marshall. All of those things, it just wasn't good complementary football. Today, Notre Dame was able to stretch the offense, get Audric Estime going because they stretched the offense, and because the offensive line is starting to figure it out. You're starting to see the Harry Hiestand aggressiveness come out in those offensive line guys. You're starting to see the mean, nasty dudes that we think those guys can be, and things are working well because of all of that complementary stuff. It's not just one thing for Notre Dame. It's got to be complementary. You're not going to go out and you're not going to throw 60 passes and win ball games. You're not going to go out and run the ball 60 times and win ball games. It has to be complementary. And I think it has been it was today. And that's the biggest takeaway here.